Back to culture foolishness. We had to take a little break,
Little breather.
a little, traveling and other mishaps happened. Had to take a little hiatus, a little short one. But we are back. This is episode 6. I am Creed of Exodus Studios, architectsofmars.com, and my co-host Ian.
Coach Tamara Simone, your favorite life coach's favorite life coach. If you know,
And
you know.
And there it is. So today, I'm gonna let our magnificent Coach Tamara Simone introduce this one because this is another one that she titled for us at Culture Foolishness. So I'm gonna let her introduce.
Um, well, the title of episode 6 is Team No Peace, Modern Day Adulting.
Yeah, it's we got bamboozled. I know a
We
lot
got
of
hoodwinked.
us are millennials and a little older Gen Zs and our Gen X people, and we can all remember this phrase, I can't wait till I grow up. And I'm pretty sure we all want to smack that child that said that.
And
But
now we're and now that we're grown, we are reverting back to the infamous phrase, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
mhm,
The problem is that it doesn't matter.
it doesn't
But
matter. We still have to pay bills. They don't care.
they don't care whether you want to or not.
Yeah, they're pretty much like, yeah, you're gonna have to pay some rent, and that's what it is. So within that, obviously, outside of many things that kind of suffer when you become an adult, I think your mental health suffers a lot just dealing with honestly shit that even happened as a child, but even dealing with those traumas going into the things that you have to deal with as an adult. Then that's when people have reactions and breakdowns and different things based on that.
Yes, and not only that, but when you take into account not only things that you're dealing with in childhood, but just what if you just wasn't prepared for adulthood for real? Be it that you weren't really taught financial literacy or just how to be a contributing member of society, whatever that looks like. Like, what if you just simply weren't taught that for whatever reason? Now you are an adult and the real world doesn't care about whether or not you was taught it growing up. You better learn it because this is how you make it, and you either do or you don't.
That's facts. I think we could even speak to just how the school system doesn't really prepare us, even when you think about different tiers of education, public, private, Catholic school, all this different stuff. For some reason, they all kind of neglect this kind of structure of things that as an adult you really would have to know, and they all kind of skip around to teaching us about different historical things and different disciplines of things that you do need to know, but they don't teach you the practical things, I don't think.
Yes, and when I when I think back to high school, and my a little bit of my background is that I had to kind of grow up a little earlier than most. A part of that is on me because I wanted to until you had to be grown. But with that, then it made me really become a little bit rebellious in high school, and rebellious to the sense that I got to a point where I felt like it was a waste of time because I was in high school, but I was also working and contributing to the household and doing adult like things while I was in high school. So when I am exhausted from working and closing the night before at my job, and then I have to go in to school the next day and learn about the Pythagorean theory, then I'm just like, this doesn't help me in like when I go to work later.
Right. And
Like what is this? And when when you go back to the practical side of things, because like I said, when I got to that point, then I didn't have the best attendance, and we'll just leave it at that. But there was a little like a semester in school around that same time where one of my teachers taught us consumer education, and it gave like, okay, like scenarios of you have a job making this amount, calculate what your gross pay will be. I'm going to give you this tax rate and this percentage for benefits, calculate that so you can get your net pay and use that to then look for an apartment, look for a car, do groceries, literally things that pertain to life that would be beneficial to me. And
mm-hmm.
despite how much I was working and all the things, I was at class on time for the entire semester because I was learning something that I knew would help me in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they had more classes like that, I feel like they would have more engagement because people actually recognize like, oh, wait a minute, this is what I need to know as a grown up. Yeah, let me pay attention because when you think about stuff like driver's ed and stuff like that, people was locked in because we know we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know how to drive a car. We know it was something that we was gonna have to do. It was important, all of these things. So the education system is kind of broken here. So that's a whole nother conversation that we're
Yes.
not gonna delve super deeply into, but I think that's a big part of the reason of kind of the no peace in adulthood that a lot of us are feeling because we were ill prepared for
Yes.
adulthood by those institutions, which super sucks. But
And the kind of the rebuttal that I've heard to that often is that, well, that's things that you should be learning at home. But again, that's under the assumption that the parents know. And how do the parents know if they never learned in school? Oh, because they're supposed to learn from their parents, who most likely didn't know either. And then if you look at it from a generational standpoint, they either dealt with Jim Crow in some capacity if they were
hmm
Black. If they were immigrants, maybe they migrated here from somewhere
or
else.
didn't
And
even live here yet
exactly.
since
So
certain time.
so this expectation that the parents are supposed to teach children something that they don't know, is very unrealistic, and it's kind of a cop out in my opinion. But as Chris stated, then we'll talk about that more in depth on another episode.
Yeah, because that's definitely something that could be covered and should be and will be sooner than later. But as far as the excuse me, the mental health aspect, it's definitely taking a toll on people because I feel like I've never heard of so many people taking antidepressants and all these
Mhm.
different things in my life, since the past 5 or 6 years up to now. Like it's at an all-time high. I didn't even hear about that stuff until I got to high school for real.
Yes, and also we live in a culture, we live in this hustle culture. So it's
hmm
like, the grind don't stop, and I gotta, what I'm saying, again, team no sleep. Like it's literally a culture that encourages people to literally over exalt themselves for the purpose of success. And then what do you do when you don't achieve that success? For one, did you define it? Because if you haven't defined what success looks like, then you're going to be chasing something and you'll never stop because you haven't really defined what it is. When you reach it, then you just
hmm
want something else. So then it never really ends up having a finish line, if you will. So there's definitely that. And working in corporate, then the phrase mental health days are thrown around. Like some companies actually allow their employees to take mental health days. And then, with that, you have to ask yourself, and not that this is anything new, but why is work becoming so stressful that you have to take a day off, not because you're sick, not because you have something important to do, but literally just because your mind and your mental can't handle it.
Hmm.
And again, I ain't saying it's new, but it's a
Right.
thing.
It's I think that it's something that was happening and now they're acknowledging it in a different way because people been getting stressed out about their jobs. That's nothing new. I think in this age of, mental health matters and la 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 la, and it's become, something that employers are actually actively trying to be, have
Be mindful of,
partnerships and
yeah.
mindful. Like the past couple jobs I worked, they had some type of free therapy hotline
Mhm.
or Zoom thing that you could do at home or whatever. Like, they're mindful of it. I mean, I feel like, I guess in this conversation, I'm a person who, while I'm not opposed to therapy. I haven't personally partaken yet, and it's something that I do want to kind of look into, but I just haven't taken the time to like find the right person. I guess that's pretty much my excuse right now.
You'll get there. I have,
Hmm.
um, and currently do not as it's levels to it. So, it's no longer weekly or bi-weekly or even monthly, but at one point then it was. There will be times where I had a schedule, a weekly session, but then life would life me up and I would schedule something in between. So I was definitely there. Got a bit of a hold on it, obviously. But for me, that moment came when life had beat me up so much that I was just like, this is something that needs to be a top priority. And, obviously, I don't want life to just smack you around like that. But I'll just say I wouldn't be shocked if something happened that triggered you to be like, you know what? This is now going to the top of the to do list.
Okay.
So that's just
Well,
my
I don't
my
know.
two
Feel
cents
like
as
it's
it pertains
starting
to.
to get there
I
in
mean,
time.
look at it inches its way up. It inches its way
Yeah.
up. Um, Something that I wanted to mention as it pertains to, the the corporate aspect that we were talking about. I think that, and I've kind of witnessed and have been living this, that this modern day adulting got way more stressful from the point of COVID and beyond.
Oh yeah.
Um, Again, work was stressful for us for decades. Like, again, that's nothing new. But Friday at 5, you were able to disconnect until Monday at 8.
Right.
But now, like, because of and remote work is great, hybrid schedule is great, and all the things. But companies have definitely used it to their advantage to say, okay, we didn't issue you this laptop, we issued you this company phone. So then you low key need to be on call. So now you never really get to disconnect.
Right.
So that's definitely a trigger. You often hear the term work-life balance.
Hmm.
And I've just recently learned that um, that's almost like a curse word when you are trying to get a new job.
Mhm. Because
Without
they
giving a, yeah, because the assumption is if you want work-life balance, then you just want a job where you lay around and don't do nothing.
mhm.
But it's like not wanting to work 60 hours a week doesn't make you a lazy bum. But in this society, then it's a very quiet, unspoken expectation that companies kind of have more.
Well, if you want to get ahead or whatever, you should be willing to do these things per se.
I mean, even if you just want to maintain, then they pretty
Mm,
much expect that. It's like,
mm,
because we're going to give you this workload that's going to require you to work X amount of hours to complete it. So if you don't, then that means that you haven't fulfilled the requirements of the job. And therefore, now you are in trouble from that standpoint.
mm,
So imagine dealing with that stress while also not
right,
being paid correctly,
right.
and
So
cost of
you,
living is biting everybody in the ass crack.
yeah,
So
yes, yes.
you working so hard to barely keep your head above water.
Hmm.
And how do you find happiness in that?
Yeah, it's hard, but it's not impossible. You
It's
definitely
not
have
impossible.
to, like for me, I mean, I live in LA, so obviously the cost of living gripes are a little bit even more extreme out here, but I love outdoors. I love, connecting with nature and different things that this city, kind of allows you to do very easily. And I just lean into that stuff. Obviously, the friendships I made and spending time with those people. So it's ways to, be zen about certain stuff, but at the end of the day, we all would like to be doing better as far as like financially and even just from a standpoint of just inflation. Could it just chill the hell out? And that would be nice, even just
That
that
would be,
stop.
perfect. Grocery bill is pretty ridiculous. So yeah, it would be great if those things could chill out. But I mean, like, even, like, you have the, and that was just the career portion. And then, like, we don't have kids, but we know a lot of our friends have kids, so
Mhm.
we kind of get a front row kind of seat to seeing, okay, you know you have to fulfill these obligations and these expectations from a career standpoint, but then you also have to be a great parent to your child. And this is a different time for parents. It's not 20 so plus years ago. Like, now you
It's
can't. It's a different world. You
it's
have other
a
things to worry about
it's
that
so
we.
many different influences and different things that's coming at kids from so many different angles that our parents, all they had to worry about was us watching something on TV that was maybe something we shouldn't have been watching, or reading something maybe that they
Mhm.
wasn't comfortable with, whatever. You got TikTok, IG, all through the phone, six different things. Then the other shit that I just mentioned is still a factor too.
Hmm.
That
and
never
it's
goes
way
away.
and
And
it's
then you
way
got
more.
access to
uh
stuff.
well, it's more access, but then, like, the things that was on TV 20 years ago is not the things that's on TV now. So there's that. And again, with all that, you're expected to be a good parent and raise a good person that's going to be, again, a contributing member of society. um you yourself have parents, and then you're expected to, maybe you're expected to take care of them and do this and do that and be, you know have these expectations for your family and your friends, and it's too much. It's too much. Like,
It's three
I
much.
it's yes, like, I get anxiety at times, like, oh snap, okay, I have to make sure that I'm keeping in touch with my friends and being this person, and life and, but okay, somebody texts me, I gotta respond to their text, and then I'm a newlywed, so I gotta be a good wife, and I have to be a good employee, and I have to, like, it's a lot. And I know that our parents and grandparents felt this too, but it was a different time.
Well, it goes
But
back
they felt
to,
it.
yeah, they
I'm not
felt
saying
it, but
it.
it's just going back to what I was just saying before. It's just it's so many more different things to divide attention that they didn't even deal with, that even saying the kids, like adults not doing the same shit that the kids are doing on maybe a larger scale. Cause say you got a job but you got another business and you using IG to run a business, so you on IG for a business reason, so you on there more, and then, you know what I mean, it's just like
Mm-hmm.
so many different elements that weren't there back in the day. Now it's just like, you know, and I feel like to kind of go back to the mental health aspect in the sense of just like the sense of self people have, is so many different things and different ways for you to compare yourself to something else, to not feel like you measuring up in this way and that way. And for both genders, because for men it's probably all the dudes is showing that they rich and got this and got that, and we trying to get to that level. And then even the working out dudes, and we looking at them and trying to get to that. So it's the visual part, it's just same as y'all. It's women is doing the same stuff on the same, the business stuff and the physical aspect that we
Mm-hmm.
both try to aspire to. So it's like two different things you seeing that you just like, I wish I could be like that, so
Yeah, the social media has definitely brought, just we are a culture of comparison,
hmm
if you will. And a lot of the, anxiety and the things that kind of attack us spiritually and all these things are coming from a place of comparison, whether you're trying to or not, whether you even admit to it or not, then it's definitely there. Because like I said, I mentioned all these things about being a good friend and wife and sibling and co and worker and all these things, and it's somebody on Instagram right now apparently doing all those things, and they're 40 pounds lighter, and and they're like, I do all of this and everything is perfect and I just got a 50% raise and everyone loves me. And
oh
it's not that
it,
it's true.
they're
It's
doing
just
a
that that's what you're seeing
handstand at the same time too. They on one hand balancing upside down while they saying that.
on a beach in Tahiti.
Yeah.
Like, so, so again, whether or not it's true is almost irrelevant. A lot of
Right.
times it's not, but it's not about what
Is
is
what the
actually true,
perception is
is
and
what the
what you're
perception
seeing.
is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot in this day and age, but I think as far as like um what's going on right now and other people speaking on it, like I've been watching the Olympics and there's been several different athletes speaking on how they had to take breaks and take mental health breaks, like what's the gymnast girl again? What's her name again? I don't know why
Simone Biles? Not Simone
yes,
Biles.
Simone,
Yeah.
Simone Biles.
Yeah, yeah.
She had to do that, and obviously it paid dividends because she got back,
Killing
centered,
it,
and she's
murdering it.
doing her thug thizzle. Like that's been my little program, and I've been watching the past few
He
weeks is
has.
pretty much all the Olympics. I was watching fencing earlier. I was watching the WNB, I mean the women's basketball. So yeah, I'm pretty locked into the Olympics right now. I think it's swimming on right now. We just whatever they're showing, I'm just
Whatever they're showing, he's watching.
pretty much watching it. And
Meanwhile, I'm like, they got these Olympics on USA, man. I was trying to watch Law and Order.
that's crazy.
Is it?
I
Is
mean,
it?
just the track and stuff, I would surprise you not trying to at least watch that.
Why? My fat ass can't run to the car. What?
I can't.
What? I'm trying to watch some other people run so I can sit up there and be like, dang, look at them go. Mm, 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 mm. So, protecting my peace.
Honestly, I can't even argue with none of that what you just said. Cause I mean, I was looking at it and I was like, if I was out there with them, I would be dead last, dying, and my chest about to explode trying to run with them
Man,
boys. Cause I just realized earlier that like 90% of the people that's even there competing was born in 2000 something, not even 2000, 2000 something. So we are seeing the next evolution of humans right now, 21st century babies, all of them, and seeing how they're better and can, run faster and all that stuff, which some of these records are getting broken. And the swimming is
absolutely.
crazy right now. The swimming is crazy. This one girl, I forgot her name. I'm bad. It's with an L, I think. I know I'm terrible, but she done won like a million gold medals. Like since 2012, she just been 4 medals, 2 to 4 gold medals every
Mm.
rep. And this time I think she got 5. I was like, gee, like one of the events, she was so far ahead of everybody. I was like, this is not even fair, really. But again, literally in the interview, I had to take time for my mental health and la la skippity skip. So the ones who winning, they speaking on it more than I've ever seen. It's not no taboo anymore. So that's a good
Of
thing.
course. Because, I mean, I can only imagine the pressure that they're
Oh,
under. Like, they go through things like everybody else, but they're still expected to perform at an elite level
mm-hmm.
no matter what. Like with Shikari,
Yeah.
wasn't it like a death in a family or something when she smoked the weed
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
like and again, I'm not necessarily condoning anything, but she wasn't allowed to be human and deal with that.
Right.
She was, like heavily reprimanded and all of these things over something that is somebody right now smoking a blunt for the homie that passed away or for their family or their cousin or whoever.
I also will add to that just from a standpoint of in America and in the state that she lived in at the time, it actually wasn't legal. So it's probably easy or was legal. So it's easier to not connect to what it was in a sense versus living somewhere where it's so, monitored or whatever. So she's like, oh, we just went to the dispensary and I smoked the joint with them because I was sad. Like that's how she was probably thinking in the moment, but it built everything up to the moment that she's in now. She did win a silver so far, I
Oh yeah,
believe.
shouts
So
out to Shikari. She was going crazy.
yeah, do your thing.
I was looking at her run. I saw a snippet of it. It was online. I saw a snippet,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, man, I'm like, man, if that
Sheesh.
was me, they'd have caught me running to the ice cream truck or something. That's what they would have. If I was in that wreck, I'd have been, they'd have been like, is this fish eating a strawberry shortcake? Yes, yes, I am.
Oh,
You.
wow. I visualize you just like they running, you almost get to, and then you turn a different way, and everybody like, where is she going? And you just last eating some ice cream. Like that's crazy.
Like, look, I knew I was gonna make it. So at this point, it's like, why? Like,
The-
you see how I'll be like, you see how fast these hoes going? Man, I'm gonna just sit on the side with y'all and watch at this point.
I
This
can't.
is crazy.
It's funny because Shakari is so short, but she fast, but she a little shorty doo wop. And the girl that won, she was from Saint Lucia, I believe, in the
Mm.
one event that got the silver. And that girl was so much taller than her. So it was like if Shakari was taller, she
And
would
ran that same
really,
speed.
because it was a lot of that was the leg length. She
Yeah.
got to like get 2 more steps just to like get past that
Mm-hmm.
girl, and she was fast. That girl been running in the sand her whole life. She was just like, "Oh, this is the ground. This is nothing."
I don't even like walking in the sand. I get tired walking in the sand.
And I'm talking, and they be running, and that's why Jamaica be killing. They be running in the sand fast. Then they get on some ground. They be like, this is solid.
Mm-mm.
Crazy. But yeah, it's definitely amplified in those type of stages, but all of us deal with, stress and heightened things to, make our mental health not be what it should be. And we all should take inventory of ourselves and, make sure that we keeping up with that stuff.
And as we start to kind of wrap up, I just like to kind of bring it back to what we initially discussed when we started about how when we were younger we were like, oh, we want to be grown.
Hmm.
I can speak for myself and most people I know who said that we just wanted to stay out late and like I don't for me, I just wanted to stay out late without anybody fucking with me. Like
Hmm.
and yeah, like stay out late, stay up late, like the whole paying like the job okay, but like not every day. Like like I just wanted to have some money and stay out late. It was some little snippets of adulting where your parents or whoever you were around had fun. And I think that was the part you wanted to see, where they out, kicking it or whatever with their friends and going out and coming in late, and you
Hmm.
could tell they little turned up, and you like, man, I want to take your ass back to sleep. Like, oh, I can't wait till I'm grown. Like that's what we wanted,
Right.
not everything else that came with it.
Because on the contrary, we don't be staying out late because we be trying to not
Man,
spend
please.
no money. So we be staying in the house and tucked our own selves in at 8:30.
Talk about, I think our generation, we are not only the innovators of, but we are heavy, um I can't even get the word out. We heavily support the day party because
Mm-hmm.
our asses want to go out around 12, kick it for several
Hard,
hours, get home,
hard.
kick it hard,
Mhm.
hard and heavy, but get home at like
5:30.
7 o'clock. Yep, yeah, yeah. Look, I was too turned 7. You right, 5, maybe 6.
Right.
And be done. And guess what? If you did that on Saturday, you ain't going nowhere Sunday
Uh-uh. You in the crib.
unless you out of town. That's the
And
only
then yeah,
exception.
if you out of town, because I know we about to be kicking it very hard very soon, but we will be out in the
That is not the
town,
norm.
all of that. But
We going out if it's a weekend.